bit of a rushed video today. Can't get enough of this, honestly. Just going for a quick appointment. Uh-oh, pretty sure I wasn't supposed to do that. Oh man, just don't know how today has gone past. It's already the second week of this holiday and time's going so fast. Yesterday was the first day I have managed to rest and do nothing. And funny enough, by doing nothing, I mean I've recorded 2 YouTube videos, edited 1. Also had a mini panic attack, let's mention that too. Teeny tiny life crisis. To be honest, these happens often, so just see that my skin is a little bit upset with me today. I still haven't managed to do any sort of treatments, proper treatments. I'm postponing them a little bit, so I'm not in the sun for too long, which is actually one of the annoying parts of this contract. And not that I'm complaining, but we spend a lot of time in hot countries full of sun, and as grateful as I am for that, it's terrible for the skin. Tomorrow I'm taking a flight to the capital city, to Bucharest, and you have no idea how happy that sentence makes me, because from my hometown to the capital city, which is Bucharest, not Budapest, there are 352 kilometers, which is somewhere around 5 hours by car. Last time I went there, I took the public transport and I got unbelievably ill. It took me a while to recover, so I'm so happy I don't need to do this now. And plus that, I'm happy that I don't need to waste further time and money with no SPF. Damn it, not again. Hate when I do that. Never go outside without SPF, kids. The reason I am going to Bucharest tomorrow is to renew my Bermudan medical certificate, medical exam. And this is one of the most vital pieces of documentation that you are required to have when you work on a cruise ship. And also this is the main cause of people not being accepted to board the ship. And that's what I mean once you have your contract signed and once you're all ready to board the ship, you are denied because you either don't have the original with you, you either don't have the original print, not a photo or a scan with you. So I've seen fairly traumatic experiences to the point where people end up being flown back to their countries. And imagine, for example, being flown from Southampton back to India. That's not an easy trip to retake, and I've had a traumatic experience myself, which was because of me. To be honest, usually the 99% of the times this is due to some sort of carelessness or lack of correct information that gets to the crew members. So the one I'm doing now expires once every 2 years, and I haven't reached the 2 years already. However, it's the end of May now, and I think mine expires at the end of November. So in theory, I still have plenty of time to go. However, that date in November is going to catch me in the middle of my contract. Actually, we're going to be in the Caribbean then. I must renew it now because there's potentially, it's complicated to have it done in the Caribbean. So I just prefer to do it with the same doctor in Romania that I've had it done before, instead of risking having any surprises and not being able to renew it whilst I am aboard. Also, this is the responsibility of the crew member, so in case I fail to do so, it is stated in the contract and in the ship's policies and all sorts that this is the personal responsibility of the crew member. So if you are considering going on cruise ships, please do not underestimate the importance of this exam. The types of exams are different, but they have the same purpose, which is to prove and to certify that you are in a good physical condition to work on board. So for example, in case of an emergency, that you, either a ship kind of emergency or a personal emergency, that they have the possibility to treat you, or in case of a ship's emergency, in case something goes wrong, like a fire on board or anything of sorts, that you are fit to perform your safety duties, which are at the base of your job on board, even if you have a specifically different job. You need to be in a stable health condition to perform in a stressful work environment for quite a few months. So typically they do blood tests, like a lung scan, x-ray, some sort of like hearing and visual test to make sure that your sight is good. One of the things they check for is if you're pregnant. One of the tricky parts with this medical is that very few doctors, or at least in Romania, very few doctors are licensed to stamp such a document because the medical investigations performed are quite random. You can have them done absolutely anywhere at any lab or any medical facilities, but not a lot of doctors have the right to authorize that certificate. If you're considering working on ships, do not underestimate the importance of this medical, and also it's your responsibility throughout the contract to ensure that throughout the duration of your contract your medical is still valid. I think there's even some sort of rule like you cannot join a ship if your medical has less than 6 months. In one way or another, sometimes contracts can be extended, so just do not put yourself in a situation where you need to be urgently disembarked, as it is a legal requirement. It's pretty much as important as your passport. You give it in at the beginning of the contract and it stays with crew office until you disembark, just like the passport does. Also, I'm in Bucharest for like 12 hours or less. Been debating today whether I'm just taking my handbag, phone, headphones and external battery, or if it's worth filming something. And to be honest, I have no idea when I'm going to be in Bucharest next. So of course I have decided to make my life more complicated and take you with me on this trip. I don't know if you caught the part from the last episode when I said that there's not a lot of daylight in the rooms on board. In fact, the predominant light is artificial. You either have a porthole, but the majority of the crew just have artificial light, so, and porthole just gives limited kind of light, not like the one I have now in this room, flooded completely. So it is absolutely delightful to do my makeup in daylight. I know you probably cannot understand how satisfying this is for me right now, but thank you for being here. This entire recording is made on my Sony a7R III on a 20mm lens, Sony lens 1.8, and on a Rode VideoMic Pro Plus. And I absolutely adore the microphone, the sound quality, and only disadvantage is that in order to perform consistently and to create these videos consistently, I need a very simple workflow which allows me to also do this in a quantity way, not just in a quality and lengthy production and complicated shots. And I find that, first of all, the Rode mic, because it's a gunpoint, it's sensitive and it's quite large, and I tend to record a lot of shots, especially for B-roll, with the tilt screen, and sometimes it gets in the way, like I only manage to see half of the screen. You may think that these are some really random things to complain about, but tomorrow, hopefully on this trip to Bucharest, I will test and purchase another mic. I've also been in a situation where I had to record two people, myself and someone else, and with these gunpoint mics you cannot do that because the other person is going to sound completely distorted, or sometimes I just don't want to be in front of the camera. Specifically, I don't want this arrangement, camera in front and me sat down in front of it or standing in front of it, because I've had a lot of situations where I just couldn't find where to place the camera. I'm not a fan of recording whilst holding the camera in my hand and moving it. So one of the things that are potentially not so obvious is that some of the countries that we travel in, you're not always safe. Sometimes you don't feel safe just by being there and being, not having anything that draws attention. I'm really not saying this to be offensive or disrespectful to any countries. However, you are not safe everywhere and anywhere. Having this setup with the microphone on top of the camera, I feel like it draws a lot of attention. I'm not in a place where I'm very comfortable for everyone and anyone to stare at me, which happens a lot in Romania for some reason. I swear to God, it's like staring is a national sport. I just don't want to draw attention. I want to be able to pull out the camera a bit quicker, and to have a better workflow than this one does, because this one requires a lot of care. I just don't know how other people do it on a regular basis. I understand how easy it is to film with it inside, but outside when traveling, I don't feel like it's the easiest workflow, especially that your ideas and your creativity don't happen just when you decide, okay, now I'm going to sit down and do a video. Sometimes the creativity and idea come at random times of your day. So it'd be best to utilize that most. However, I just end up prolonging my work because I just have an idea, I cannot record it on the spot, then I write it in the notes, and then I need to make time to sit down and to go through it again, and run out of time completely, and I need to go, and I will catch you on the flight.